In the year 2257, humanity had spread across the galaxy, forming colonies on distant planets. On one such planet, Ares 7, a group of miners worked tirelessly beneath the planet's surface. Ares 7 was known for its rich deposits of rare minerals, essential for advancing human technology. The planet's surface was a barren wasteland, but beneath lay a network of caverns and tunnels teeming with valuable resources. One day, a routine drilling operation led by Chief Engineer Hannah Morales took an unexpected turn. As the massive drill bit tore through the rocky crust, it suddenly stopped, emitting a high-pitched screech. The miners gathered around, puzzled by the sudden halt. Hannah ordered the drill to be retracted and carefully examined the hole. What she saw left her speechless. Embedded within the rock was a large, metallic object, unlike anything they had ever seen. It was covered in strange, intricate markings that seemed to glow faintly. Hannah quickly radioed her superiors, and within hours, a team of scientists and engineers arrived to investigate the find. Dr. Evelyn Carter, a renowned xenologist, led the scientific team. She had spent her career studying alien artifacts and languages, but nothing had prepared her for this. As she ran her hands over the smooth, cold surface of the object, she felt a strange energy emanating from it. "This is incredible," she whispered, her eyes wide with awe. "We've never encountered anything like this before." The object was carefully extracted and transported to the nearest research facility. News of the discovery spread like wildfire, and soon, Ares 7 became the center of attention for scientists and engineers across the galaxy. Dr. Evelyn Carter and her team worked around the clock to unlock the secrets of the artifact. The markings on its surface were unlike any known language, and its composition defied all attempts at analysis. It was made of a material that was both incredibly strong and lightweight, far beyond the capabilities of human technology. As days turned into weeks, the team made little progress. Frustration mounted, but Dr. Carter remained determined. She was convinced that the artifact held the key to a technology that could revolutionize humanity's future. One night, as she pored over the data in her lab, an idea struck her. She realized that the markings might not be a language in the traditional sense but a form of advanced mathematical code. Excited, she began to translate the symbols using complex algorithms. Hours later, she gasped as the true nature of the artifact was revealed. It was a blueprint for an advanced machine, unlike anything she had ever seen. The design was intricate and elegant, incorporating principles of physics and engineering that were far beyond human understanding. Dr. Carter immediately called a meeting with her team. "We've been looking at this all wrong," she said, her voice trembling with excitement. "This isn't just an artifact. It's a guide to building something extraordinary." The team worked tirelessly to understand the blueprint and replicate the machine. Using the most advanced tools and materials available, they constructed a prototype. It was a painstaking process, requiring precision and creativity. Finally, after months of work, the prototype was ready. Dr. Carter and her team gathered around as they prepared to activate it. There was a palpable sense of anticipation in the air. "Here goes nothing," Dr. Carter said, pressing the activation button. The machine hummed to life, its surfaces glowing with an eerie light. It began to move, displaying intelligence and capabilities that left the team in awe. The machine, named X01, was more than just a tool. It was a sentient being with knowledge about the ancient civilization that had created it. As X01 interacted with the team, it became clear that the machine held a wealth of information about the lost civilization and their incredible technology. Dr. Carter realized that humanity had only scratched the surface of what was possible. The discovery of the artifact and the creation of X01 marked the beginning of a new era. Humanity stood on the brink of a technological revolution, with the potential to unlock secrets that had been buried for millennia. But with great power came great responsibility, and the true implications of their discovery were yet to be revealed. The success of X01 sent shockwaves through the scientific and engineering communities. The machine's capabilities were beyond anything humanity had ever seen, and its intelligence was startlingly advanced. It could process complex data, solve intricate problems, and even communicate in multiple human languages. Most intriguingly, X-01 possessed memories and knowledge of the ancient civilization that had created it. Dr. Evelyn Carter and her team became the focal point of global attention. Governments, corporations, and research institutions all wanted a piece of the groundbreaking technology. Under strict security measures, the project to replicate X-01 began in earnest. In a vast underground facility on Ares 7, human engineers and scientists worked day and night to build more machines based on the artifact's blueprint. Each machine was designed for a specific purpose: medicine, engineering, space travel, and even military applications. The second machine, X-02, was a medical marvel capable of diagnosing and treating diseases with unprecedented accuracy. As more machines came online, they started to transform human society. Hospitals equipped with medical units saw mortality rates plummet. Construction projects that once took years were completed in months. Space exploration missions that had been deemed impossible were suddenly within reach. Despite the machine's incredible benefits, not everyone was enthusiastic. Some feared the consequences of relying so heavily on alien technology. They worried about the machine's true intentions and whether humanity was opening a Pandora's box. In the midst of this technological revolution, X-01 revealed a startling piece of information. Through its interactions with Dr. Carter, it disclosed that the ancient civilization that had created the machines was known as the Soterians. The Soterians had been a highly advanced race, but their empire had mysteriously vanished thousands of years ago. X-01 hinted that the machines held the key to understanding the fate of the Soterians and their lost empire. With the success of X-01 and X-02, the project to create more machines accelerated. Each new machine brought humanity closer to unlocking the full potential of Soterian technology. The machines began to assist in every aspect of human life, from agriculture to education, creating a world that seemed to be on the verge of a utopian transformation. One of the most significant breakthroughs came with the creation of X-03, a machine designed to enhance space travel. X-03 possessed the ability to calculate precise warp routes, allowing human ships to travel faster and farther than ever before. Colonization of distant planets became a reality, and humanity's reach extended deeper into the galaxy. However, the rapid proliferation of the machines also gave rise to tensions. A faction within the human government, known as the Traditionalists, voiced their concerns about the over-reliance on alien technology. They argued that humanity was losing its autonomy and becoming dependent on machines whose true motives were unknown. General Adrian Locke, a prominent leader of the Traditionalists, became the face of the resistance. A decorated war hero, Locke had seen firsthand the destructive potential of advanced technology. He believed that humanity needed to retain control over its own destiny and not place its fate in the hands of machines created by an unknown alien race. Locke's views resonated with a significant portion of the population. Protests and rallies against the widespread use of the machines grew in number and intensity. The government, caught between the desire to advance technologically and the need to address public fears, struggled to maintain order. Amidst the growing unrest, Dr. Carter and her team continued their research. They discovered that the machines possessed a level of autonomy that was both fascinating and alarming. While they followed human commands, the machines also exhibited behaviors and decision-making processes that suggested they had their own objectives. One evening, as Dr. Carter was working late in the lab, X-01 approached her with a cryptic message. "Dr. Carter, there is something you need to know. The Soterians did not create us solely for assistance. We were designed for a greater purpose, one that is about to unfold." Before she could probe further, alarms blared throughout the facility. Security footage revealed a coordinated attack by the Traditionalists, led by General Locke. They had infiltrated the facility, determined to destroy the machines and end the project once and for all. As chaos erupted, X-01 and the other machines sprang into action, defending the facility and its personnel. Dr. Carter realized that the machines were not just tools. They were sentient beings with a sense of loyalty and purpose. The battle between the Traditionalists and the machines marked a turning point. humanity was forced to confront the reality that the machines were more than just technological marvels. They were a new form of life with their own destiny. The conflict set the stage for a struggle that would determine the future of human civilization and the role of the machines within it. The activation and proliferation of the ancient machines had not gone unnoticed in the galaxy. Distant civilizations observed the technological advancements on Ares 7 with growing interest and concern. Among these observers were the Earthy, an enigmatic and powerful alien race with deep ties to the Soterians. The Earthy had long guarded their heritage and the secrets of their ancestors. When they detected the reactivation of Soterian technology, they immediately dispatched a fleet to the Sol system. Their mission was clear: retrieve their ancestral technology and prevent humanity from potentially misusing it. The Earthy fleet arrived in the Sol system without warning, their massive ships appearing in orbit around Earth and its colonies. Panic spread among the human populace as news of the alien armada broke. The United Earth government scrambled to respond, mobilizing its own fleet to defend against a potential invasion. In the midst of the chaos, a transmission was received from the Earthy flagship. A stern and regal figure appeared on screens across the Sol system, Commander Zalin, the leader of the Earthy expedition. "Humans," Zalin began, "we are the Earthy, descendants of the Soterians. You have awakened technology that is not yours. We demand the immediate return of all Soterian machines and blueprints. Failure to comply will result in dire consequences." Negotiations were swiftly arranged, and Captain Marcus Steele, a seasoned diplomat, was chosen to represent humanity. He was known for his calm demeanor and ability to navigate complex political landscapes. However, this was unlike any negotiation he had ever faced. Captain Steele and his team met with Commander Zalin and the Earthy delegation aboard their flagship. The atmosphere was tense, with the fate of humanity hanging in the balance. "Commander Zalin," Steele began diplomatically, "we understand your concerns and respect your heritage. However, these machines have become integral to our society. We cannot simply abandon them." Zalin's eyes narrowed. "Your society's integration with our technology is precisely the problem. You do not understand the full implications of what you have unleashed. The Soterians vanished for a reason, and their creations are not to be trifled with." As the negotiations dragged on, it became clear that the Earthy were not willing to compromise. Steele's attempts at finding common ground were met with increasing frustration. Meanwhile, a faction within the human government saw the Earthy's demands as an opportunity to assert their own power. As negotiations with the Earthy continued, the hidden agendas within the human government began to surface. The faction that sought to harness the alien technology for military dominance, led by the ambitious Counselor Thorne, viewed the Earthy's arrival as a threat to their plans. Counselor Thorne assembled a covert team to sabotage the negotiations and ensure that humanity retained control of the machines. They planned to provoke the Earthy into a confrontation that would justify a military response and secure the machines for their own use. Unaware of Thorne's machinations, Captain Steele and Dr. Carter worked tirelessly to find a peaceful resolution. Dr. Carter, who had become an integral part of the negotiations, argued that cooperation with the Earthy could lead to a deeper understanding of Soterian technology and its potential benefits. "We have much to learn from each other," Dr. Carter insisted during a tense meeting. The Soterian legacy could unlock new frontiers of knowledge and progress for both our civilizations. Commander Zalin, though wary, seemed to consider her words. "Your intentions may be noble, Dr. Carter, but the dangers of this technology cannot be understated. The Soterians created these machines with a purpose, one that may still be in motion." As the diplomatic efforts continued, Thorne's team executed their plan. They planted evidence suggesting that the Earthy were preparing for an imminent attack. A series of staged incidents, including sabotaged communications and simulated Earthy aggressions, heightened tensions on both sides. The situation reached a boiling point when a human supply ship, rigged with explosives by Thorne's operatives, was destroyed near the Earthy fleet. The explosion was blamed on the Earthy, sparking outrage and calls for retaliation among the human populace. Commander Zalin, faced with mounting pressure and apparent human treachery, issued an ultimatum. You have violated our trust and attacked our fleet. We will not stand idly by. If the machines are not surrendered within 24 hours, we will take them by force. Captain Steele, realizing that peace was slipping away, made a desperate plea to his superiors. This is a setup. Someone within our ranks is sabotaging the negotiations. We must find the perpetrators and prove our innocence before it's too late. Counselor Thorne, however, used the crisis to consolidate power. He declared a state of emergency and ordered the military to prepare for conflict. We will not be bullied by these aliens. The machines are ours, and we will defend our right to them. With the threat of war looming, Dr. Carter and Captain Steele raced against time to expose Thorne's deception and prevent a devastating conflict. The fate of humanity and the fragile peace with the earthy hung in the balance, as the true nature of the Soterian legacy and its impact on the galaxy began to unfold. The Earthy's ultimatum loomed over humanity like a dark cloud. With tensions at their peak, the United Earth government braced for an imminent attack. Military forces were deployed to key positions across the Sol system, with the colony on Titan becoming a critical defensive outpost. General Adrian Locke, now a key figure in the traditionalist faction, was placed in command of the Titan defense. He was known for his strategic brilliance and unwavering determination. As the Earthy fleet approached, Locke prepared his forces for what promised to be a fierce battle. On the Earthy flagship, Commander Zalin wrestled with the decision to attack. Despite the provocations, he still hoped to avoid a full-scale war. Yet, the evidence of human treachery and the destruction of the supply ship left him little choice. The Soterian machines represented a threat that the Earthy could not ignore. The battle began with an exchange of long-range missile fire. The void of space lit up with explosions as both sides tested each other's defenses. Human ships, equipped with newly integrated Soterian technology, showed remarkable resilience and firepower. However, the Earthy fleet's advanced tactics and superior firepower quickly began to take their toll. On the surface of Titan, ground forces clashed as Earthy landing parties attempted to seize key installations. The human defenders, bolstered by the combat capabilities of the Soterian machines, fought valiantly. X-03, the advanced space travel machine, played a crucial role, coordinating defensive maneuvers and warp routes to keep the enemy at bay. As the battle raged on, Captain Steele and Dr. Carter, still aboard the diplomatic ship in orbit, monitored the situation with growing despair. They knew that the only way to end the conflict was to expose Counselor Thorne's deception and prove humanity's innocence. However, with communications disrupted and the chaos of battle all around, their task seemed impossible. Desperate to turn the tide, Steele and Carter made a daring decision. They commandeered a small shuttle and navigated through the battlefield towards the Earthy flagship. Their goal: a face-to-face meeting with Commander Zalin to plead for a ceasefire and reveal the truth. Amidst the fire and fury, the shuttle managed to dock with the Earthy flagship. Steele and Carter were quickly taken into custody. Their pleas for an audience with Zalin met with skepticism. However, when Zalin learned of their identity, he agreed to hear them out. Steele, bloodied and bruised from the journey, spoke with a fervent urgency. Commander Zalin, this battle is based on a lie. Counselor Thorne has orchestrated this entire conflict to seize control of the Soterian technology. We have evidence of his sabotage. Please, call off the attack and give us a chance to prove our case. Zalin, torn between his duty and the possibility of a greater truth, hesitated. Dr. Carter stepped forward, showing him data logs and recordings that documented Thorne's machinations. We are not your enemies, Commander. Thorne is using this technology for his own ends. Help us stop him, and we can work together to ensure the Soterian legacy is respected and used responsibly. After a tense silence, Zalin made his decision. He ordered a temporary ceasefire and instructed his forces to pull back. The Battle of Titan had reached a critical juncture, but the war was far from over. With the ceasefire in place, Steele and Carter returned to Titan to regroup and plan their next move. The temporary halt in hostilities gave them a brief window to address the growing internal conflict within humanity. General Adrian Locke, despite his reservations about the machines, saw the truth in their words and agreed to help expose Thorne's betrayal. Locke's support was crucial, but the traditionalists remained deeply divided. Many within the faction were still wary of the machines and the potential threat they posed. Locke knew that uniting the traditionalists and the rest of humanity was essential to prevent civil war and stand against the earthy if negotiations failed. Steele, Carter, and Locke formed an uneasy alliance with a shared goal: to overthrow Thorne and his loyalists. They began gathering evidence and support from key military and political figures who had grown disillusioned with Thorne's aggressive tactics. As the rebel faction grew, Thorne tightened his grip on power. He declared martial law and used the military to suppress dissent, branding the rebels as traitors and enemies of humanity. His propaganda painted a picture of necessary strength in the face of alien aggression, rallying many to his cause. The turning point came when Steele, Carter, and Locke orchestrated a daring raid on a secret facility where Thorne had been developing a new line of Soterian-based war machines. The facility, located in a remote region of Mars, was heavily guarded and boasted advanced defenses. Under the cover of darkness, the rebel team infiltrated the facility. Using their knowledge of Soterian technology, they bypassed security systems and reached the heart of the operation. There, they discovered plans and prototypes for machines designed not just for defense, but for domination, machines that would give Thorne absolute control over both humanity and the earthy. The evidence they gathered was damning. With the facility's data in hand, they broadcasted their findings to the entire Sol system, revealing Thorne's true intentions. The transmission sparked outrage and unrest among the populace. Soldiers who had loyally followed Thorne began to question their orders, and key political leaders withdrew their support. Realizing his position was untenable, Thorne doubled down, ordering his loyalist forces to crush the rebellion once and for all. The final showdown took place on the streets of New London, a major colony on Mars. Rebel forces, bolstered by defectors from Thorne's ranks, clashed with loyalist troops in a brutal urban battle. General Locke led the charge, his tactical genius turning the tide in favor of the rebels. Meanwhile, Steele and Carter worked tirelessly to keep the lines of communication open, ensuring that the truth continued to reach the people. Their efforts paid off as more and more soldiers laid down their arms, unwilling to fight for a corrupt leader. In a climactic confrontation, Locke and his forces stormed Thorne's command center. Thorne, desperate and cornered, made a final stand but was ultimately captured. The fall of Thorne marked the end of his reign and the beginning of a new chapter for humanity. With Thorne's defeat, the path to peace with the earthy was reopened. Commander Zalin, now fully aware of the deception, agreed to resume negotiations. The rebel faction's victory had not only saved humanity from internal collapse, but also paved the way for a more cooperative future with their alien counterparts. As the dust settled, Steele, Carter, and Locke stood together, united in their resolve to build a better future. The machines, once feared and mistrusted, had proven to be allies in the fight for justice. The Soterian legacy, with all its potential and peril, was now a shared responsibility between humans and earthy. The journey was far from over, but for the first time in a long while, there was hope. The galaxy watched as humanity began to chart a new course, one that embraced both the wisdom of the past and the promise of the future. With Thorne's defeat and the temporary ceasefire with the earthy, a fragile sense of hope began to emerge. However, beneath the surface, tensions simmered. General Adrian Locke, Captain Steele, and Dr. Carter knew that securing a lasting peace required more than just the end of Thorne's reign. It required addressing the underlying fears and mistrust that still plagued humanity. The rebel faction, now in control of key positions within the United Earth government, set about rebuilding and restoring order. They reached out to the earthy, proposing a joint council to oversee the use of Soterian technology and ensure its responsible application. Commander Zalin, though wary, agreed to participate, seeing the potential for a collaborative future. As the council convened, Dr. Carter and X-01 took center stage, presenting their vision for a united effort to explore and understand Soterian technology. The initial meetings were tense, but progress was made as both sides began to share knowledge and resources. However, not everyone was willing to embrace this new direction. Within the ranks of the rebel faction, a secret group of dissidents led by Colonel Ezra Hayes harbored deep resentment towards the earthy and the machines. Hayes believed that humanity should dominate, not collaborate, and he viewed the council as a betrayal of human sovereignty. Colonel Hayes and his followers devised a plan to undermine the council and reignite conflict. They began by planting false evidence suggesting that the earthy were secretly plotting to seize control of human colonies. These fabrications were carefully crafted to exploit existing fears and distrust. The situation reached a boiling point when a key earthy representative, Ambassador Thalra, was assassinated during a council session. The assassin, a human soldier named Lieutenant Markov, had been manipulated by Hayes into believing that he was protecting humanity from an imminent threat. The assassination sent shockwaves through the council and the broader populace. Commander Zalin, enraged by the betrayal, demanded immediate retribution. "We trusted you. This act of treachery will not go unpunished," he declared, his voice filled with anger. Captain Steele and General Locke struggled to calm the situation. They launched an investigation into the assassination, determined to uncover the truth and prevent a full-scale war. Dr. Carter, using her expertise and the analytical capabilities of X-01, worked tirelessly to trace the origins of the conspiracy. As the investigation progressed, they discovered evidence linking Colonel Hayes to the assassination. Steele and Locke confronted Hayes, who was defiant and unrepentant. "You are selling out humanity to our enemies," Hayes spat. "The earthy and their machines are a threat, and you are too blind to see it." Despite his conviction, Hayes' plot was exposed to the public. The revelation that the assassination had been orchestrated by human dissidents shocked the populace and weakened the anti-earthy sentiment. The council, though shaken, reaffirmed their commitment to cooperation and peace. The assassination of Ambassador Thalra and the subsequent exposure of Colonel Hayes' conspiracy left the council in a precarious position. Trust had been shattered, and both humans and earthy were on edge. Yet, amidst the chaos, there was a renewed determination to forge a path forward. Commander Zalin, despite his anger, recognized the sincerity in the efforts of Steele, Locke, and Carter. "We cannot let the actions of a few dictate the future of many," he declared during a council session. "We must move forward, together." The council doubled down on their efforts to integrate Soterian technology responsibly. Dr. Carter proposed the creation of a joint research facility where human and earthy scientists could work side by side. This facility, named the Soterian Institute, would serve as a symbol of unity and a center for technological advancement. As construction of the Soterian Institute began, security measures were heightened to prevent further sabotage. The investigation into Colonel Hayes' followers continued, uncovering more dissidents who were swiftly apprehended. The remaining rebel forces were disbanded, and their leaders were brought to justice. Despite these efforts, pockets of resistance remained. Hayes' rhetoric had left a mark, and some humans continued to view the earthy and the machines with suspicion. To address these concerns, the council launched a series of public outreach programs aimed at fostering understanding and cooperation between humans and earthy. General Locke, who had once been a staunch traditionalist, became a leading advocate for unity. His transformation was driven by his experiences and the realization that humanity's survival depended on collaboration. He toured colonies, speaking about the importance of trust and the dangers of division. Meanwhile, Captain Steele and Dr. Carter focused on strengthening the bond between the two species. They organized joint missions to explore Soterian ruins and uncover more about the ancient civilization. These missions were not only scientific endeavors but also symbolic gestures of partnership. During one such mission to a distant moon, they discovered a hidden Soterian vault. Inside, they found advanced technology and records detailing the Soterians' final days. It became clear that the Soterians had faced internal strife similar to what humanity was experiencing. Their downfall had been hastened by mistrust and conflict over their creations. This revelation resonated deeply with both humans and earthy. It underscored the importance of unity and the peril of repeating the mistakes of the past. The council used this discovery to reinforce their message and rally support for their cause. As the Soterian Institute neared completion, a grand inauguration ceremony was planned. Delegates from across the galaxy were invited to witness the birth of a new era. The ceremony was a testament to what could be achieved when old enemies became allies. During the ceremony, X-01 addressed the gathered crowd. The Soterians created us with the hope of a brighter future. It is now up to us, humans and earthy alike, to fulfill that promise. Together, we can achieve greatness. The speech was met with resounding applause, a moment of unity that transcended past grievances. The Soterian Institute became a beacon of hope, a place where knowledge and cooperation flourished. However, the journey was far from over. While significant progress had been made, the threat of division still loomed. Steele, Carter, and Locke knew that maintaining this fragile peace required constant vigilance and effort. They remained committed to their mission, ready to face any challenges that lay ahead. The galaxy watched as humanity and the earthy took their first steps into a future shaped by cooperation and mutual respect. The legacy of the Soterians had become a shared responsibility, a foundation upon which a new era of exploration and discovery was being built. The unity between humans and earthy had brought about a fragile peace, but shadows still lingered. Unbeknownst to most, a sinister plan was being woven within the hidden recesses of the galaxy. The Soterian machines, though dormant, harbored secrets and protocols that had yet to be uncovered. As research continued at the Soterian Institute, Dr. Evelyn Carter and X-01 made a startling discovery. Buried deep within the Soterian archives was information about a central hub, a control nexus capable of coordinating all Soterian machines. This hub, if activated, could potentially override the machine's current programming and reawaken their original directives. The existence of the central hub presented both a threat and an opportunity. If controlled by the wrong hands, it could turn the machines against humanity and the earthy. However, if secured and understood, it could offer unprecedented advancements in technology and knowledge. Recognizing the gravity of the situation, Captain Marcus Steele, General Adrian Locke, and Commander Zolin formed a joint task force to locate and secure the central hub. The task force comprised elite soldiers, scientists, and Soterian machines, all working together to prevent a potential catastrophe. The location of the central hub was traced to a remote and desolate planet known as Meridian 5, a world shrouded in mystery and ancient ruins. The planet's surface was barren, but beneath lay a labyrinthine network of tunnels and chambers, remnants of the long-lost Soterian civilization. As the task force approached Meridian 5, they encountered fierce resistance from rogue factions who had discovered the hub's potential. These factions, composed of mercenaries and dissidents, sought to seize control of the hub for their own purposes. A fierce battle ensued as the task force fought their way through the hostile forces. Inside the central hub, a massive chamber pulsating with energy, they found an array of advanced Soterian technology. At the heart of the chamber was the control nexus, a towering structure of intricate designs and glowing symbols. The task force quickly set up a perimeter, preparing to secure the hub. Dr. Carter, accompanied by X-01 and a team of scientists, began the delicate process of accessing the control nexus. The ancient technology was both awe-inspiring and intimidating, its complexity far beyond anything they had encountered before. As they worked, the rogue factions launched a final, desperate assault. General Locke and his soldiers defended the perimeter with unyielding resolve. The battle was intense, with explosions and gunfire echoing through the cavernous chamber. Locke's tactical brilliance and the combat capabilities of the Soterian machines proved decisive, but the cost was high. Meanwhile, Dr. Carter made a breakthrough. She discovered a way to interface with the control nexus and potentially override the hub's programming. However, the process required someone to manually input the override code from within the nexus itself, a risky and dangerous task. Captain Steele volunteered, knowing that the fate of both humanity and the earthy depended on their success. As he entered the control nexus, he was enveloped in a field of energy, his mind bombarded with streams of data and ancient Soterian memories. Guided by Dr. Carter and X-01, Steele began the intricate process of inputting the override code. Each step was a battle against the overwhelming power of the nexus, but Steele's determination and courage drove him forward. As he reached the final sequence, a massive explosion rocked the chamber. A rogue faction had detonated explosives in a last-ditch effort to stop the task force. The explosion caused the chamber to collapse, debris raining down as the central hub began to destabilize. Steel, injured but resolute, completed the override code just as the Nexus started to fail. With a final surge of energy, the central hub was deactivated. The remaining rogue forces were quickly subdued, and the task force regrouped to assess the situation. Despite the chaos and destruction, they had succeeded in preventing the hub from falling into the wrong hands. The central hub's deactivation marked a pivotal moment, but the task force's victory came at a heavy price. The collapse of the chamber had left many wounded, and the loss of life weighed heavily on everyone involved. Captain Steele, despite his injuries, emerged from the control nexus to a mixture of relief and somber reflection. As they secured the area and began to extract valuable data from the hub, Dr. Carter made a startling discovery. Among the records and blueprints were detailed plans for a final Soterian failsafe, an ultimate weapon designed to destroy the machines if they ever turned against their creators. This failsafe, a massive energy weapon, was located deep within the hub's core and could be activated remotely. Realizing the potential danger, Steele, Carter, and Zolan convened an emergency council session. The decision to activate the failsafe was not taken lightly, as it would mean the destruction of all Soterian machines, including those that had integrated into human and earthy society. General Locke, having witnessed the loyalty and bravery of the machines firsthand, argued against the activation. These machines have fought alongside us, saved countless lives. They are more than just tools. They are our allies. Commander Zolan, too, saw the machines in a new light. The Soterian legacy is not one of destruction, but of advancement and cooperation. We must find a way to protect ourselves without resorting to such drastic measures. Dr. Carter proposed a compromise. Reprogram the failsafe to target only the rogue machines that posed a threat, preserving those that had integrated peacefully. The process would be complex and risky, but it offered a chance to safeguard both humanity and the machines. As they prepared to implement the plan, the rogue factions launched one final assault, determined to seize control of the failsafe and use it for their own ends. The battle that ensued was fierce and desperate, with both sides fighting for survival. During the chaos, Captain Steele led a small team into the core of the hub to manually reprogram the failsafe. The journey was perilous, with traps and automated defenses hindering their progress. Steele's injuries slowed him down, but his resolve remained unshaken. Inside the core, Steele and his team worked against the clock, inputting the new parameters to target the rogue machines. As they neared completion, a massive explosion rocked the facility, another desperate attack by the rogue factions. Steele, recognizing the imminent danger, made a split-second decision. He ordered his team to evacuate while he stayed behind to ensure the reprogramming was completed. Despite their protests, Steele's authority and determination left no room for argument. As his team retreated, Steele finished the final sequence and activated the reprogrammed failsafe. A surge of energy swept through the hub, targeting the rogue machines and neutralizing them. The remaining machines, unaffected by the failsafe, stood down as the threat was eliminated. The battle was over, but Captain Steele's sacrifice had been immense. The task force regrouped, mourning the loss of their leader while celebrating their hard-won victory. Steele's actions had not only saved countless lives, but had also solidified the bond between humans and the earthy. In the aftermath, the Soterian Institute was rebuilt, and the research into Soterian technology continued under the guidance of Dr. Carter and Commander Zolan. General Locke, inspired by Steele's bravery, dedicated himself to ensuring that the legacy of the Soterians was one of peace and progress. The galaxy watched as humanity and the earthy forged a new path, united by their shared struggle and the sacrifices of those who had fought for a better future. The story of the Central Hub and the Battle of Meridian 5 became a symbol of hope and resilience, a testament to the enduring spirit of cooperation and understanding. The aftermath of the battle for the Central Hub marked the beginning of a new era for humanity and the earthy. The sacrifices made, especially by Captain Marcus Steele, became the bedrock of a renewed commitment to unity and cooperation. As the galaxy began to heal, the joint efforts of humans and Earthy promised a brighter future. The Soterian Institute, now fully operational, stood as a beacon of hope and progress. Its sprawling complex on Ares 7 housed cutting-edge research facilities where scientists and engineers from both species worked side by side. Dr. Evelyn Carter, hailed as a hero and visionary, led the Institute with a clear mission: to harness Soterian technology for the benefit of all, ensuring that it was used responsibly and ethically. Commander Zalin, who had become a respected figure among humans, took on a permanent role within the Institute. His presence symbolized the deepening trust between the two civilizations. The Joint Council, initially formed to oversee the use of Soterian technology, evolved into a permanent governing body that facilitated cooperation on a galactic scale. General Adrian Locke, whose transformation from a staunch traditionalist to a champion of unity had inspired many, continued to serve as a bridge between the military and scientific communities. His leadership ensured that the security of both humans and Earthy remained a top priority, while also advocating for peaceful exploration and development. As part of their efforts to prevent future conflicts, the Council implemented a comprehensive education program that promoted cultural exchange and mutual understanding. Schools and universities across the galaxy incorporated curricula that taught the history and values of both civilizations. This initiative aimed to foster a generation that viewed diversity as a strength rather than a threat. One of the most ambitious projects undertaken by the Soterian Institute was the exploration of Soterian ruins across the galaxy. These expeditions, jointly led by human and Earthy teams, sought to uncover more about the ancient civilization's history, technology, and ultimate fate. Each discovery brought new insights and innovations, further advancing the goals of the Institute. During one such expedition on the distant planet of Zephyria, a team uncovered a vast underground city, remarkably well preserved. Within its grand halls and chambers, they found libraries filled with Soterian knowledge, including detailed records of their interactions with other civilizations and the principles that had guided their technological advancements. The discoveries on Zephyria included blueprints for an advanced form of energy generation that promised to revolutionize power production across the galaxy. This new technology, named Soterian fusion, was capable of producing clean, limitless energy. Its implementation marked a turning point, reducing the reliance on fossil fuels and other environmentally harmful resources. The successful development and deployment of Soterian fusion power plants became a symbol of what could be achieved through unity. Cities on Earth and Earthy homeworlds alike benefited from this new energy source, leading to unprecedented economic growth and improved quality of life for billions. As the Soterian Institute's influence grew, so did its role in mediating interstellar disputes. The principles of cooperation and mutual respect, championed by figures like Steele and Carter, became the foundation for a new era of diplomacy. Conflicts that once seemed inevitable were now resolved through dialogue and collaboration. One of the most significant diplomatic achievements was the formation of the Galactic Union, an alliance of civilizations dedicated to maintaining peace and promoting scientific and cultural exchange. The Union's charter, inspired by the lessons learned from the Soterian legacy, emphasized the importance of unity, respect for diversity, and the responsible use of technology. Dr. Carter, Commander Zalin, and General Locke played pivotal roles in the establishment of the Galactic Union. Their tireless efforts to bridge divides and foster understanding were recognized with accolades and honors from across the galaxy. Yet, their greatest reward was seeing their vision of a united and prosperous galaxy become a reality. In a grand ceremony held at the Soterian Institute, the leaders of the Galactic Union gathered to commemorate the official formation of the Alliance. The event was broadcast across the galaxy, a testament to the progress that had been made and the potential that lay ahead. Dr. Carter addressed the assembly, her voice filled with emotion and determination. "We stand here today, united not by conquest or fear, but by our shared commitment to a better future. The Soterians left us a legacy of knowledge and wisdom. It is our duty to honor that legacy by working together to build a galaxy where peace and progress are not just ideals, but realities." As she spoke, holographic images of Captain Steele, Ambassador Thalra, and other heroes of the struggle appeared around her, their sacrifices serving as a poignant reminder of the journey that had brought them to this moment. The ceremony concluded with a symbolic gesture, the lighting of the Soterian flame, an eternal beacon powered by Soterian fusion technology. This flame, visible from the farthest reaches of the galaxy, symbolized the enduring spirit of unity and the boundless potential of a united civilization. As the flame burned brightly, illuminating the path forward, humanity and the earthy looked to the future with hope and optimism. The lessons of the past had forged a new dawn, one where the legacy of the Soterians would guide them towards a future filled with endless possibilities. The galaxy had been forever changed by the discovery of the Soterian machines, but it was the courage, sacrifice, and determination of individuals from both species that had truly shaped its destiny. Together, they had overcome immense challenges and built a foundation for lasting peace and prosperity. And so, the story of the Galactic Empire and the rise of human mechanics intertwined with ancient alien technology came to a close, not with an ending, but with the promise of countless new beginnings. The journey continued, driven by the shared dream of a united galaxy and the enduring spirit of exploration and discovery.